Nicole. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. Did you have a hard time finding us today?
Yeah, actually, there's a bunch of one-way streets and got confusing.
Yeah,
so
they're really
I just kind of
confusing.
went around the block a couple of times until I found the entrance. But got here.
I know. I know I sent you the voucher for the free parking.
Yeah.
Did that work for you? Wonderful. Awesome. Well, I'm really happy that you're here. I'm really excited to get started. So, I guess we'll go ahead and start if that's okay with you.
Okay,
Yeah, so we'll get started. So I'm going to go over just a few things such as confidentiality with you. Confidentiality just means that everything that's in this room that me and you say, that you talk about, is going to stay between me and you. The only time that I would breach confidentiality is if you were going to harm someone else, harm yourself, adult harm, or child harm. So any of those, that's something that I would have to report. Do you have any questions about that?
no, not that I know.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, so what we're going to do today, we're just kind of got to get the layout going, kind of make an agenda as to what we're looking for, maybe some goals that you're wanting to accomplish, and just have that platform to continue our sessions. Does that sound good?
That sounds wonderful.
Okay. Well, so you're at the the counseling center for students. And so basically what we do is we allow for students to come in and just talk about what's going on in their lives. We know that school's happening right now, so that's really stressful, I'm sure. So I want to just know what are you here for? What are you coming in to talk about?
Well, I just moved here from Hawaii, and I've been having trouble sleeping, and just a generally hard time adjusting.
Hawaii is so far away. It's very different from Tennessee, I'm sure.
It is different, both culturally and seasonally.
Absolutely. So what are some changes that have been hard for you specifically?
Well, I came from a very big family. I am the second to the youngest, so I have a lot of siblings. There's 4 of us, plus me is 5, so there's just a lot. And then just coming here all alone is totally different. Not having my siblings around, not having my parents around, and just always coming home to an empty apartment is kind of depressing.
Yeah, absolutely. You sound very close with your family. Are you close?
I am, but like every family, it's ups and downs, and but yeah, generally we're super close.
Oh, well, that's really awesome. So, what are you and your family like to do when you're in Hawaii?
We like to go outside a lot. We go to the beach, we go hiking, we like to watch movies. I have 2 little nieces, and I take them everywhere. But yeah, we're pretty active.
Well, it sounds like you have a really big heart to love all your siblings and your nieces. So, you said that you had trouble sleeping. Is that just at night? Do you take naps and it's hard, or?
It comes in waves. I tend to there are days when I just cannot fall asleep, and I know that I have to get up really early, but I just lay in bed. And then there are days when I just can't stay awake when I'm supposed to, and sometimes it's reversed. So, I either sleep too much or not enough.
So do you work during the day? What's your schedule look like with school?
Well, I attend internship 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And then on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I work from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. And then I come straight here to UT for class. Tuesdays at 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. and Thursdays, well, I should split. Tuesday. Yeah, anyways. Point is, I have long days.
Yeah, you sound very dedicated. That's what I'm hearing is that you've got a lot going on, but you're doing it regardless, right?
Well, I worked hard to get into the program, so I have to work hard to get through.
Absolutely. So what are your strengths in school? What do you feel like you're doing really good right now?
Actually, I'm not doing so well right now. just started the semester, so it's hard getting a routine down. Last year I did really well. So I was able to schedule them. I was able to kind of like pinpoint what's important and then do whatever's not important afterwards. But this semester I'm having a harder time.
Yeah. Do you think that's because of the sleeping, or is it just the overall being in a new place?
I think it's a mixture of not being able to sleep, still not adjusting, and just a whole like schedule flip with school and work, and it's just all kind of got fuzzy.
I heard that you mentioned something about a boyfriend. Is he still in the picture? How is that going?
No, actually, I ended up dumping him, and because of that, I realized how isolated I was. The first year of school, I was really prioritizing my free time to be with him, because he lived in Cookville at the time when he was attending college. But on the weekend, we would take turns going back and forth. But now that I dumped him, I realized, I don't have any friends. I just have like one friend. But she just started school.
You both are busy. Yeah.
So, yeah, we could never get our schedules to align. We maybe see each other once a month.
Wow.
So, it's been hard.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine, for sure. Absolutely. So, your relationship history, boyfriend, you broke up with him because you felt as if he was kind of holding you back. Is that kind of what I'm hearing, maybe?
Not so much holding me back. He wasn't really opening up himself. Like, I felt like I was just dating a wall. He wouldn't communicate with me about his feelings or big decisions, life decisions. And he was just very disinterested in going out. He just wanted to stay and drink beer, play video games, and I was just like, I can't do that. So I felt that we were kind of growing apart and we weren't really on the same page. So I talked to him and we both mutually agreed to kind of part ways but be friends. So it wasn't a bad breakup, but I think in hindsight he realized how bad he was as a boyfriend, and so now he's very upset and he's trying to get back with me, but I'm kind of holding my ground and saying no.
Well, that sounds like a very mature on your part, for sure, realizing your needs as well as maybe some that he wasn't able to give you. I'm sure that was really hard for you regardless, but you seem...
It was hard, but at the end, I shouldn't have to beg for attention from him or time from him, so I realized that it was just better.
Are your parents, what did they think about the decision, or were they supportive?
They're really thrilled that I broke up with them. But, yeah, they're bummed at the same time for him, but they realize that I made the right choice.
Yeah, I mean, they're your family. I'm sure they think of you as a great person, so of course he's maybe missing out a little bit. Yeah, that's really awesome. So I would guess that what I'm hearing is that they are your support system, a really big support system in your life.
They are. I call them as often as I can, although they're being 6 hours behind kind of makes it difficult, especially when I'm just getting out of class or they're still working. So yeah, sometimes I have to wait until after midnight to call them. But yeah, they are a very strong support.
So what about your internship? How is that going for you? I know that probably keeps you very busy and occupied. What is that like? Do you enjoy it?
I do. It's very fast paced and kind of all over the place in the hospital. So I'm slowly learning my way around. I got to do my first assessment today with a client, a patient, but she wasn't very willing to give any information. So it was kind of a bummer, but I'm enjoying it.
That's really great. That's awesome. I mean, yeah, everything that I've heard, I mean, it sounds very overwhelming, but you seem to hold your composure really well and to know what you want and what you are going to go after.
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's really great. So tell me more about, so you're in grad school, correct? So what was your undergrad like? Were you also having a hard time with your undergrad, or did you finish that in Hawaii?
So I completed my undergrad at the University of Hawaii, and I got my BA in psychology.
Psychology, awesome.
I did struggle because I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. But then once I decided on social work, I realized I kind of wanted to get my BA in psychology before going into social work, because I knew that I have to get a master's. So until I realized what I really wanted to do, I struggled a lot. My grades were not that great. I didn't want to go to class. But I think that kind of goes with the territory. If you don't really know what you want to do, and you're kind of forced to go to school. So, but once I reached that point of understanding what I really wanted, I was very motivated, and I went to class all the time. I got straight A's. And yeah, it was kind of an interesting adventure.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's kind of hard to figure out what you want to do until you're in it and you're having to do it anyways. Yeah. So what were your friends like in undergrad or in Hawaii?
My friends were kind of all over the place, a mixture of childhood friends and high school friends and then college friends. Unfortunately, most of them moved away because living in Hawaii is very expensive, and unless you kind of have the funds to live alone, you have to live with your parents. And a lot of my friends didn't want to do that. So most of them moved to the West Coast. But the friends I had towards the end of living in Hawaii were mostly college friends. The people I went to class with.
That's awesome. Do you keep in touch with them at all?
I do. I recently saw one right before I came back to Texas.
Oh, wow. That's really awesome. Well, that's great. I hear a lot of positive things going on in your life, and regardless of the breakup, I feel like you're moving forward really, really well. So I just want to recap on everything that we talked about, if that's okay. So thank you for sharing. And so what I'm hearing is that it has been a struggle moving from Hawaii. I know that you're very close with your parents and your family, so not being around them has been a little bit of a struggle. And then you recently just had a breakup, which you realize that it's honestly probably for the best, which is, I feel like, a really good thing to understand, especially when you want to pursue something that you want to do, and that's really awesome. I also know that you said you've had some trouble sleeping. I want to recommend, like you said, that you love to be active, stay active. Find those friends that maybe you can get involved with that love to do the same things, like specific clubs. I know that campus has a lot of resources to that, and just stay motivated for sure. And I feel like that you are motivated because you're in a grad program that is very demanding and has to have a lot of your attention. And then as far as how you said about your internship, you're enjoying it and you're figuring it out and you think that it's going to be a good fit for you.
Yeah.
Does that sound about right?
It does.
Yeah. Well, do you have any more questions for me regarding anything?
When's the next session?
Well, that's awesome. Well, so I want to see you, I want to say, in maybe about a week, maybe 2 weeks. We can talk about that and get together to do a time. Next session, I think we can talk more, maybe more goal-driven to see how you're going with friendships, to maybe see if we want to do a specific goal as to how we're going to get new friendships. I want to hear about how your sleeping's going. If it's still kind of all over the place, we can look deeper into that and possibly referring you somewhere else to get better help for your sleeping. So, but yeah, thank you so much for coming, and I look forward to seeing you again.
Thank you so much for your time.
Absolutely.